Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon, and I'm here to write some games. Now, we are working on Bloodcoin and Steel for a handful of things. We are also going to be working on adding something today. Now, we went through all the various books at this point. Let me just go back up here to project folder Dice. And click through here. We have gone through all of the major expansions, as well as, if I can click something right for once, all of the minor expansions. Bar playing the Game of Thrones, but that's kind of the GM section of the main book. Now, here we are at the main book. What we're going to be adding is something I hinted at on, it would be Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Actually, no, Thursday. You may be wondering, why did I not stream yesterday? I didn't stream yesterday because I was dying, because my back hurt a lot, because I was on a train all day. So, that is why this is happening today, and why I didn't really get anything done. Let me just double check everything, make sure everything is good, and everything should be alright. So, what we're going to be doing is, we were working on Court. And what Court is pretty much a time where the players are allowed to effectively upgrade their holdings. Upgrade something that matters to them. So what we're going to be doing, let me just do a quick test right here to make sure everything's working. Oh goodness. Yep, there we are. Everything is working. So what we want to add is Court. I decided to go down to every season instead of every 4 seasons for it, and kind of fold it into my idea for initiatives. And pretty much I'm going to try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone with the idea of Court. So I'm hoping that works as I hope. So let's get writing. So I put it down to 3 methods to madness, effectively. Also, in case you're curious what we're playing in the background, it is Serenity by Soviet Wave Mix. You can look them up on New Soviet Wave on YouTube. But what we're going to do is we're going to reduce it down to 3 things every group can do. Now, if we look down here, we know there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, there are 4 groups, there are 4 kinds of, actually 5 kinds of groups in the base game. Noble houses, merchant family, sell swords and free companies, clans and tribes, and bandit groups. Each of those are dealing with its own problems. But the 3 generic ways to improve is simply an improvement. Actually, yeah. Simply to develop. What developing does is that it increases authority, power, population, or wealth by +1. I want to check something real fast. Yeah, okay. I am right. So, all the way back up. So we have development. Pretty much you're increasing one of your base attributes. Everyone has authority, power, population, and wealth. It kind of means something different for a lot of them. If you notice, you don't have the ability to improve land. Now, what is land to each group? Land to each group is very different and very important to each of them. To a noble house, it is effectively how powerful you are. To a merchant family, that officially makes you landowners, which is incredibly important, but also kind of moves you up in the social strata. However, we go down to a sellsword company. When you have land, you're no longer really a sellsword company. You're a landed group of individuals. You have authority. You have power. You are something now. You are a individual in this scenario. While for clans and tribes, land does mean a lot. You can have a lot of land, but you may not even be using a lot of it. Same goes for bandit groups. It's more about territory, more about turf. That's land to a bandit group. What you own, quote unquote, not what you technically own, as in the other groups. So, if you were to develop your group, actually I should put this. How do I want to word this? Effectively, what I want to do is have a group. Each group may only choose one of these methods per season. No, I'm not going to do a footnote here. I'll do that as an explanation. So, the ability to develop, trade up, which is pretty much what do I even... So pretty much you spend 2 of an attribute to increase an attribute. Actually, let me yeah. So what trading up is mostly for is that if you have an excess of something, it's to get rid of something. We have an excess of authority, but we need land. You could spend 2 authority to get 1 land. Or we have an excess of power, but we need authority. Spend 2, spend 1 authority. Spend 2 authority, get 1 power. It's not efficient. But trading up isn't supposed to be efficient. It's supposed to be if you have an excess of something. And this also includes wealth. And that's kind of where it's mostly used for. So let's say you do an entire set. Let's do you do an entire season and you get a shit ton of wealth coming into the family. You can spend that newfound wealth to increase this. That's what you want to do. You want to increase it. Actually, what I should do, spend an attribute to increase an attribute and a 2 to 1. Ah. I think my neighbors are cooking something. That, or I am smelling something and I shouldn't. But let's keep going. So trading up is, kind of how I reworded this. It's pretty much you can spend 2 for 1. I want to spend 6 wealth to get 3 land. It's quite a bit, but it's not efficient, but it's still valuable. You can still really get some good trade-offs. But again, you can only do one of these every season. So if I develop 1 season, I'm going to be able to trade up or to my other one, which is sacking. Pretty much reduce an attribute for wealth at a 1 to 2 ratio. So I sack 1 thing, I get 2 wealth, which is incredibly good. You may want wealth, but it's harder to get back some back things. At least I think that sounds like a good idea. Let me look at it. Now, mind you, I don't write these things out before, and you're seeing me raw come up with this kind of at the top of my head. So let's think. Oh, goodness. Alright, here are my... That is me going to be double checking my flash drive with all my books on it. Now, what I'm checking out right now is actually a book I got a long time ago, which is Pendragon. 5th edition to be exact. I want to see if they have what I'm looking for. Okay, I see. Let's check you out. No. You know it may work. Check out one of the world games. This is what I'm referencing right now is. Alright, yeah, here we go. No, that's not it. I was looking at World of Conan, but that's not quite what I'm looking for. So let's check Apocalypse World straight up. Angel of Adelaide, Rainer, Chopper? I played Apocalypse World once, and I played a chopper, and I had a lot of fun with it, even though I don't like the system in general. But we're not gonna... That's not quite what I'm looking for. What am I looking for? I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for... Rain. Yeah, there are Rain and Kyridion. Rain and Kyridion is actually how I based off a lot of things for this. Company is... Clary's our company. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for... I'll bump up the music a bit. I know what I'm looking for, but I don't know how to word it. You may be all, curious to understand that this isn't sometimes easy to do. It's a lot of sitting around thinking about how do you want things to go. But I made it a point to say I want to try to get this done today. So I'm going to try to get things... Excuse me, let's see if I can't get this done today. I'm going to drink my apple juice, and I'm in fact a 5-year-old. Okay, I know it. Okay. So this is a little bit more incentivized for each of them. If you get to develop, all right, I'm just going to increase my authority, power, population, or wealth by +2. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Actually, what I should do is have a chance of this backfiring. No, it's a little bit. There we go. Trading up is effectively, I'm spending X for X. We have an excess of this, let's use it to increase this. That's kind of your gimme one. Actually, I'm going to do a 2-to-1 again. 2-to-1 ratio. I'm going to put a footnote on it as well, so I don't forget. Footnote. Yeah, I'm going to go 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So effectively, your develop is your flat amount. That's that's safe. This is your safety. You don't lose anything. You don't gain anything really, but you just get what you are going for. If that makes any remote amount of sense, it's you say I want +2 this, you're getting +2. That's it. That's what you're gonna get. Let's scroll down a little bit. Actually, I should scroll up, scroll down. And that's your, if I want more authority, cool, let's develop, let's get +2 authority. We don't got to think about it. Trading up is kind of the more, we have an excess and we know we have an excess of something, so we want to trade something up. You know, we want to spend this wealth to increase our land. We want to spend our authority to get a little bit more population. We want to expend our power to get a little bit more wealth. It's your not really efficient way of doing that. But it's there. It's kind of the crap, we have an excess, let's get rid of it. The initiative is your gamble. That's you saying, all right, everyone, we want to improve our land amount. We're going to roll 1d6 -3. And we increase it by that amount. Now, there's a chance you roll a 1 or 2, which you lose it, which can be very bad. But the initiative is your gamble. On one hand, you get a +3 to something. On the other hand, you get a -2 on something. So it's kind of the, do we want to take the risk? Do you get a +2 on something? Maybe we'll get a +3 on our land, which is huge. Yes, maybe we do want to do that. Or maybe we don't. Actually, yeah, no, -3. Again, the initiative is kind of the gamble. You don't want to do the initiative, but sometimes it's the, if you've already developed and you already done one of the, if you've already developed, actually, a full year has gone by. This is my out for it. You know, you can always decide you just don't want to do and improve. Season. So You can say, I don't want to improve. No, we don't want to develop. We don't want to trade up. Cool. That's all you're doing. You don't got to think about it. All right. Now we do the specific ones for noble families. Would be most appropriate. Yep, noble family. There we go. Mostly because equal to their population. So if we go scroll down here, and so pretty much it doubles each time. So let's say you have 2 large towns. You get 16. However, if you have just 3 small towns, on the other hand, you'd only get 12 wealth because you just don't have as many people in general. And this is also taxes on goods, resources. So pretty much your noble houses, when you tax, you want like these big cities in there, but you also want all these little hovels and little hamlets so you can develop them into smaller, large towns and cities. If you don't have a hovel, you can't get a hamlet. If you don't have a hamlet, you can't get a small town. So it's what do you want to do effectively? Do you want to try to develop it more into these kind of, these bigger cities and spend that land you may not have a lot of? Or do you want to just go for that big city right off the bat and have to deal with the problems of having a city in general? So, let's see. Equal to their population centers. There we go. Boom. So that makes us on to merchant families. What would merchant families do? What would merchant families do? Think. Big think time. If I were a merchant family, reflecting their business and sway. Oh, I know. I can see it. It's right there. I'm snapping my fingers aggressively to signify that I know it. That's it. This is the big one. So, with pretty much with the merchant families, you being able to lobby, it's pretty much a much more efficient. Let me bring this up. Efficient method of trading up. So instead of spending 2 wealth to get 1 land, you're spending 1 wealth to get 1 land. But again, you can only do this once a season, once a year, effectively, once per season. So it's kind of like, when do we want to do this? Do we want to do when we have a lot of something, or when we don't have a lot of, when we desperately need something? So it's kind of a timing thing. And mind you, this never reflects what's going to happen as the seasonal event. That's one of the big things about this entire thing, is this takes place first, then the seasonal event takes place. So it's kind of your gamble almost. Do we really want to spend a lot of money improving something when we don't even know what the heck's going to be happening next year? And that's kind of your back and forth. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Sellsword companies. So, for sellsword and fleet companies, you get the mass recruitment. The mass recruitment is good, and mass recruitment is also terrible. Because mass recruitment is also kind of bringing to the masses. You're going to be bringing in a lot of people. It's 2d6 power. That's pretty big. Actually, should I tone that down? Yeah, I'm going to turn that down to 1d6 because you're actually no 2d6. Because you're getting a lot of people. You can potentially get, for infantry, again, it costs 1 to get a thing of archers. It costs 1 to get a thing. Actually, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm going to turn that down to 1d6. Boop. And it's one of those things like, let's say you roll 4. You can get medium cavalry for 3 and a thing of footmen. That's pretty good. But your upkeep is going to be 4. You're going to be 4 more. So it's kind of do we want to get more people to join our ranks, or do we want to get people to kind of, so we don't have to pay as much? Now, mind you, mass recruitment's also good because one of the big threats for sellswords is getting companies wiped out. So if, let's say, you have your cavalry division of light cavalry, of skirmishers, and there's 50 men in there, and they get led into an ambush last season, you've wasted that power that you spent on them. They're dead. They're gone. You don't have to pay them, but you can't use them anymore because they're dead. Mass recruitment, you can get your light cavalry back and also give them good equipment, or, give them some decent training. So it's kind of how do we want to really use that? Again, that's 1d6. In case you have some floating power around, let's say 1 or 2 power, you don't want to spend on anything, you can now possibly afford that heavy cavalry with trained, or heavy cavalry and elite heavy cavalry. You can now afford that. Now you can also use it. Let's go down to our next one. Clans and tribes. Let's see if I can get this. Let's see. Tribal. Yeah, I'm going to use moot. I think moot's a good word for this. Yeah, it's kind of the mood. It's pretty much you're determining like how you want to go forward. It's just like, okay, we want to get more authority right off the bat, so we can do some more raids and expeditions. But we also want to use some power to get a hero, or a medicine man, or hey, maybe let's get some decent weapons now, or hey, oh god, let's actually get a fortified place where we don't die the second we get into an actual fight, or someone actually comes to try to murder us. Or you can go down the, hey, let's just get more people in here. We need more raw resources. We need more traders. We need more wise men. We need more things. It's kind of more, we're developing the clan. Let's develop the clan rather than let's develop, hey, let's line our purses. No. There we go. So splitting the loot is pretty much let's spend our excess wealth, because wealth is very valuable, and effectively let's make sure that we still have hold over our people. Let's organize, because authority is valuable. We want to spend, let's say we have five extra loot, 5 extra wealth. We can dump it into authority. We just want to get 10 authority right off the bat, so we can start doing some stuff, so we can start exchanging our authority for population, raw goods, or we can then split up. However, wealth can also be turned directly into power or authority at any point on a 4-to-1 ratio. And it's this 2-to-1 ratio is really good. It's one of those things, like, never underestimate. Like, this is actually really good from the 4-to-1. So instead of 4 wealth for 1 authority, it's 1 wealth for 2 authority. But again, you can only do this once a year. So it's, when do we decide to do this? Do we really need authority right now, or can we hold off on it? Can we hold off one more season? We can develop this season. We can do something else next season. One more season? until they're like, yeah, maybe we should split the loot. Or, yeah, we really need to split the loot now so everyone gets paid and no one tries to murder us in our sleep. So that's court. It's not a perfect system, but it will do for now. So let's scroll down. We want to go... I'm going to put it right above progress and ruination. Let's see if this works properly. Absolutely not. Oh, Jesus. Normal text. Footnote. Stop formatting. Oh, I just realized the music ended. So let's flick on something else. What does this sound like? A lot of this looks like it's... Oh, goodness. Sounds like a good way to get flagged for all sorts of terrible things. Let's see. Alright, let's look at something completely random. Here we go. Who's ready for some piano? That's copyright free, so I don't have to worry about it. But alright, so next we're going on to building improvements. So one thing I've never really touched upon too much is actually how to, outside of that, building improvements. Like some of them are pretty easy. Like, oh, we want to put up a stockade. All right, that'll take, about a season. That won't take too long. But it comes down to bigger ones. Some of these bigger ones where things get a little bit complicated. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make this side note. should be. Do. So, let's see. We've been streaming for 57 minutes. We've added 2 new things, addressing some of the complaints we had earlier about group actions not really being a thing. Now, let's see. Alright, everything looks good on my end here. What I will do is I will post this to the people who are interested in this, as it is just one person currently right here, and I maybe just be talking to myself. However, if you know what this is, you'll know probably where I will post it inevitably. I'm actually on it right now. So I will double check everything there and make sure everything's good and see if I can't get some feedback on what happened last time. But everything looks good on my end. Now, you may be wondering, what are we going to be working on as well on February? So, the other one the other February project I was thinking about working on is another thing. Is this Fate Lonely Dance? I'll actually open this up too, because this is where it started. Now, Fate Lonely Dance. You may be wondering, what the hell is this? For those who are uninitiated weebs, Fate series is kind of a massive clusterfuck. For actually, no, not better words, it just is. It's just kind of a clusterfuck. It's a very large and sprawling series, primarily popular in Japan. You may have heard of Fate Go, or Fate Stay Night, or various other Fate properties, or Saber. But it is a fairly massive property, and everyone's always been curious of how do I run a Fate game. I want to run a Fate game, or I want to do this, and people automatically go to like D&D or something like that, and that D&D doesn't really do it. D&D has never really done this particular flavor of strange well. So I took it upon myself, arguably, to attempt it, to see what I could do with it, and it took me a while. This is actually one of my longer projects. And as you can kind of see up here, September 14th is when I last worked on this, so it's been a few months. But the key thing about it is that it is completely diceless. There are no dice involved in here, which is amusing, to say the least, and I based the system primarily off a game called Amber Diceless, which is based off the series of books by, I think, the same name or a slightly different name. I can't remember. Just Google Amber Diceless and you'll know what it is. But that game is also fairly unique in being, you guessed it, diceless and also incredibly in-depth. Everything about Amber has depth, has meaning, has things there. So I tried to take that and port it over to this, a Fate system. As you can kind of see right here, it is 30 pages long. And as you see right here, it's actually fairly bare bones compared to Blood, Coin, and Steel. However, that's kind of the point with it. Is Blood, Coin, and Steel was very focused, you could say, on its one particular thing. However, these are very unfocused. Well, laser focused on something very different. So, one of the key things is every character is composed of physical attribute, your strength and energy, warfare, how good they are at fighting. You can be a strong boy, but not be exactly good at fighting people. Your mental, your intelligence and wit. Your power, unique powers that give them edge in combat. This is effectively their magic ability. Bravado, how charming and bizarre the character is. And finally, Fate, their ability to say, fuck you, I'm important. Which, as you can see, is one of the key attributes. Now, this is actually how you determine your attributes. You have a cost to everything. And determining on that cost is what you get. So, let me see. So, you have your powers. Pretty much what this based on is your powers, perks, and your skills is pretty much you have more things. One of the key things is having this gives you an advantage with these. So, having a unique power, such as being able to use magic, being able to fucking fly, being able to see behind goddamn walls or see the future, is a power. It is something that is unique and special and pretty cool for you. However, a perk is a unique background, and you pretty much add a plus anytime. It is. So you may be wondering what a plus is. So let's say I have a B in warfare, but I have a background saying I'm cool. So I would have an A in warfare if it's lining up, which is, again, a very big difference between because let's say I'm an A going against, I have a B and I'm going up against someone who has an A-. I'm going to lose that fight. No matter what I do, I'm going to lose that fight. In a straight fight. However, if I use that skill, use that background, I'm going up and I'm going to win the fight. If I use that perk. Skill pretty much is a lot more precise method, and you pretty much just rank up. You go from, as you can see, A to B, C plus to B plus. Actually, wait. I gotta make sure this is right. So perks, you go up one step. Skill, you go up a full rank. So yeah, it's been a while since I read this, people. So if you have a skill in something, B to A. If I have a perk in it, B plus. But again, perks come in are a lot more broad, while skills are a lot more precise. And then we have all the classes. Conflict. And then we have all of this stuff, which is very specific to run. Now, one of the key things is that I'm going to have to go through this methodically and update everything on this. This is going to be a lot more involved process than in Blood Coin Seal. Blood Coin Seal was done. Like it or not, Blood Coin Seal was kind of wrapped up to where it needed to be. This one is definitely not. There's still a lot of work to do on it to get it to where I would like it. The key one being actually making classes. Actually, making sure that people have characters. Because each character has 10 attribute points to spend. Pretty much servants. These guys, cool magic people who are also historical figures, have an X mark to two of their attributes, which pretty much says, I win. If they go up against a human being with it, they win. Because fuck you, I'm magic, you're not. So pretty much just a little bit better. And what I want to do with this, my goals for this, is to increase it to go from a frame to something a little bit more playable. That's my goal with it, at least. And this was actually what spawned it. This is 26 pages. And this is a running a Fate game. And I wrote this kind of in a delusion. This is actually a pretty old one. I haven't updated this in a while. But this was summing up the best actually, no, this is 50 pages. Of how do you actually run this? So combined, you can argue saying that this entire document is currently 80 pages long. The main doc and the GM guide, you can almost call this section. However, is it really the GM guide? However you want to say it. As you can see by some of the, here, I'll zoom in 200%, wording on it. Yeah, I didn't really take this seriously, and I wrote this in the span of about 2 days. And yeah, it's supposed to kind of be amusing, but also like, yeah, this is how it be. And the systems I actually recommend for it are Big Eye, Small Mouth, OVA, the anime role-playing game, Mutants and Masterminds. It's actually the next edition of BSM, but it will never come out. Hero Quest, I'm a fan of actually Hero Quest. I played a little bit of it, but I enjoyed all my time with it. And any generic system. However, I do not recommend generic system. Now, what I should add is my own system, however. Now, you may be wondering why I did this in particular, and kind of like, oh, well, this is really strong and powerful people. Shouldn't I be using my favorite system here? One of the big things I realized with like huge power gaps between players and player characters is that you had to make a compromise somewhere of who's playing what and how and why. Because if you were to pitch a Fate game to people who enjoy Fate, the first question people would ask is, can I play a servant? And if you say yes to them, you have to now balance the game around someone who can instantly kill just about anyone in about a flash, in a half second, versus someone who is a normal human being, albeit with superpowers. Situational superpowers. Let me preface that real fast. Let me put a little check mark next to that. Situational superpowers, because if we remember the actual visual novel, Shiro doesn't really do anything until he starts kind of learning about himself. And he gets his shit kicked in. Often. And dealing with that is half the struggle for him. And kind of learning to go toe-to-toe with these characters. He even acknowledges sometimes, saying, I am the least qualified person for this. And dealing with the other characters. Or if you've watched Fate Zero, you learn how easy it is to kind of abuse the human aspect of it. Hey, this person, we can't really kill this supernatural entity who can deflect bullets out of the air with a fucking spear. We can't shoot him, but we can sure as hell shoot the guy behind him. Or, hey, what's the most efficient method to dealing with this person? Bomb the building. Or, hey, this character is the only one physically capable of taking down this big bad monster. What do we do with it? Well, they're the only one able to. We can't do anything. We have to sit and wait and hope. So it's kind of that idea going forward is taking that power imbalance, I should say, and making it work. So I actually tried using dice for it. I tried using every kind of dice you could think of for it, and none of it worked. It either became characters were like really too similar, or there were a lot of if and or but maybes. It became a lot of, well, this happens for this reason, but only if it's this kind of character, or only if it's this. But if they're this, or if they do this. And that didn't become fun. That wasn't, I read through that document, it was about 15 pages long, and I said, nope, this isn't working. This is not what I wouldn't want to play it, so why would I want someone else to play it? Is there a Fate homebrew out there somewhere that does something like that? Oh yeah, probably, but it's not mine, so I don't really give a shit about it. So what I kind of compromised on was going diceless. Now, Amber does a very good job of the differences in power rankings being kind of ridiculous. Now, one of the big things with Amber is that characters in Amber Diceless are insane. Absolutely fucking bonkers powerful. Like, there's no middle ground sometimes between them. It's the one example they gave in the book actually is a character who was completely invisible, snuck up behind someone to try to stab him, and he whipped around, grabbed the blade from them, and then threw it away and kicked them. The player who's playing the invisible person said, hey, how can he see me? Like, how is this possible? Because he's just that good at fighting. He would be able to predict that movement. He's that good. He's that impossibly skilled at fighting. I give a couple other examples. They rank, how they kind of rank people is like one of the lowest effectively attribute skills you can get is human. Normal person is one of the lowest you can physically get. It's the second lowest, I believe. But like the highest is like I can bench press the earth, and it's so ludicrously powerful that you can only really do it via narrative. Now, whether or not you like narrative as systems is your trip. However, one thing I went into this, I'm not usually a fan of narrative systems because there comes a very small a very small gap between playing Mother May I, playing Mother May I, Pretend, and playing a game. Game has winners, losers, and there's clear actions resolved, not really up to the narrator to determine. Oh, you said something I like. Clap, clap, clap. No, I didn't want to go into that. I didn't want that. So I deliberately had to write out a lot of parts of this. Just give characters advantages, disadvantages. If I'm low on this, I want to mix it up. I want to do something else. To really keep in the element of randomness that tabletop RPGs are good at. Reward players who are creative, though, but not punish those who are linear thinkers. I'm not going to be just like, you have to have 900 plus IQ to play this game. No, I'm not going to say that. And what I'm saying is some people see things as a very straight path, very linearly. I want to do X, I'm going to do Y. Some people think a lot more up, down, left, right, and center. I want to do X, so I'm going to do A, B, C, D, and E, and that'll accomplish X. I want both of those players to see this game and say, okay, I get this. Someone might do the all according to Keikaku plan and do 9 steps to get to where they want. Someone else may say, okay, no, fuck that. We're turning this shit around. We're gonna fix it because we can do that and do it. I want both of those kind of players too, because again, I've encountered both when I GM, and I've encountered both on a lot of things. Narrativist games tend to, depending on the GM, it's A or B. You're thinking, what is the fastest method to get to that, or what is the most obtuse method to get to it? And they reward those who do their obtuse method, or they reward those who do their very direct method. It's like an adventure game puzzle. We have a key, we have a keyhole. Now, in a good adventure game, you put the key in the keyhole, and you've done it. However, that's how it's supposed to work. However, in some adventure games, it's like, well, no, you got to do about 5 different steps. You got to think what the designer is doing to get it. However, what I want to do, my goal here to make this analogy actually fucking work, is I want that puzzle, a metaphorical puzzle, to be interesting. I want someone to take it and think about it. I want to get this key. How do I get the key? Well, I got to do this. Okay, I want to go do this. I will do a lot of things. Because in tabletop games, it's not like a video game. There's not one way to do something. There's not one clear path available to you. Something's high up. What do? If you go off adventure game logic, you may need to get a ladder. You may need to do a little side thing for the ladder man for him to give you a ladder, and then you can climb up the ladder and get the thing up top. Tabletop games, it's not like that. It's, okay, something's up top. Cool, I'm going to climb the shelving. All right. Or, hey, I'm going to stand on this person's shoulders. Okay. Like, you can't really stop players from doing that. And with this game, I want those solutions to still feel meaningful, and a lot of narrativist games seem to fail at. Amber does it quite well. Like, you feel good anytime you play something in Amber because everyone's so ridiculously overpowered, and you have a clear understanding of where you stand in comparison to other people. I am stronger than this person because I am stronger than this person, and if we were to fight, I would win. But he is smarter than me, so fuck. Or, I am, I am more charismatic than this person, but he's stronger than me. So I want to talk to him. I don't want to fight him. So it kind of comes down to that relationship of player, game master, and how everything kind of works together. I've been rambling a little bit too long right now. So we're an hour 18 streaming. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their night. And give me 1 second, and hopefully everyone has a nice rest of the day. Goodbye, and have a wonderful rest of the time.